What's up, everybody? Mikhail Dewji here.
And Ali Dewji with the DRI podcast.
This is our, third, fourth episode?
It's the third episode.
We gotta step it up, make some more.
We do, but this episode is like...
None like any other episode.
None like any other. We've got a guest on this episode, Mick, that is going to blow your socks off.
Is it Chef Ramsay?
Chef Gordon Ramsay? No, bro. This guy has got the rhythm, the flavor, the flow, and he is a dear friend. I mean, I don't know how we were able to make our schedules work. I'm super excited. We're going to be bringing on none other than Chef Devan Rajkumar. And for those of you who don't know, you're in for a treat. We're going to go through a lot of stuff. He's got a new cookbook.
Yeah, cookbook, life, some of his past, some of his tips and tricks on how to be the best version of yourself. So.
Yeah, I'm super excited, and I'm super excited to bring this episode to you. It's Ali Dewji.
Mikhail Dewji. Stay tuned.
Let's do it, baby. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pride, it is my privilege and my honor to welcome none other than Chef Devan Rajkumar to the Dewji Realty Information Podcast. Welcome, my brother.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very grateful.
Grateful would actually be our state. Wouldn't you say that, man?
I would say so.
I mean, Mr. International here. This guy's nickname, one of his, I've known you for a long time. Long time.
I'd love to know actually the backstory, how you guys met. Some history. You told me a lot about it, and
we have, but this podcast is meant for family audiences, and I'm not sure we're able to get that type of rating. It's not gonna, on YouTube, you click Save for Kids. We'll have to change that rating, but we might get into that. But we've got many names for you, right? I know the world knows you as Chef Devan,
right?
Devan Rajkumar. But I remember you when you used to be. We had another nickname for you, Monks.
A lot of people don't know that about me. In fact, I would think that the majority of people following me online, they've never heard of Monks or even know how to spell it or what it is.
They have no idea, because that's like, you knew me way back when, or I knew you way back when. But I'm going to throw another name at you, actually. I'm going to call you Pitbull, because you're Mr. Worldwide, Mr. International, with the way you've been traveling so much. Like, I love that color tone.
I'm very lucky, man. I mean, as a kid growing up, I had no idea how people traveled so much and got to explore so much and learn about other cultures. And these days I'm traveling every month and I'm overflowing with gratitude, and I just want more of it.
It's fantastic. Bro.
Yeah, man.
I'd love to hear the story from where you started off and how you got where you are today.
I don't even know what the story is. I mean, growing up, my dad wanted me to be a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer. Typical, right? My dad, very wildly successful businessman, right? And went to Laurier. After a year at Laurier, they kindly asked me not to return. And then from there, I was bouncing around bilingual sales jobs. I speak French. We're talking over 20 years ago now. And then I finally summed up the courage to enroll to culinary school. And then I got to culinary school, and I've never experienced school that way. School for me was always a drag. I was a decent student when I applied myself, but I went from like studying standard deviation and stats to studying internal temperatures of proteins and memorizing mother sauces, and everything just changed. For the first time in my life, I got really excited to go to bed so I could wake up and go to school.
Wow.
To cook a stock, to break down a rabbit, to make a risotto, whatever it was that we were cooking. That's when everything changed for me. And that was in my early 20s. I'm turning 40 soon. So I've been cooking professionally now, or I've been cooking now in the game for, I think, about 16 years. And you saw me before that, not so much you. Mm-hmm. I think you were a little butcha. But you saw me before that when I started it, going through it, and then up until this point now. Which is why when you asked me to do this podcast, I was like, done.
Which I have to say is actually truly, a privilege and an honor. I know that there's actually a lot of, you surrounded yourself with the people that are able to protect you from, certain situations, environments that aren't necessarily conducive. But when I asked you, you just went straight to default Devan mode. I might say that sometimes you're guilty of hurting yourself because you just give. Your first answer is always yes. When, I still see you as that same boy of mine that I had, but to the world, you are a celebrity. And you've never have let it got to you. And whenever I would speak to you, I was like, bro, I just want to give back. Dewji, how can I use my platform to help you? And I was like, I don't know.
That doesn't go for everybody, though. And I appreciate you saying that. I'm a very giving person. Like, I have seva, tattooed here, selfless service without praise or recognition. Like it's in there, in between all this ink that we have here. But I mean, for someone like you, you have special access.
I'm humbled. For those of you at home, I'm not sure if they can see it, but I am blushing. The lights might not do me justice, but I am definitely blushing. Seva, you talked about that, and it means to give
Selfless service.
selfless service.
Without praise or recognition. That's the key. I was raised to be a very generous, compassionate kid. And you remember me growing up, I was always very giving. I felt like one of my superpowers was to make people feel very special. However, I did a lot of these things expecting praise and recognition. So learning to disassociate that over the years is a daily practice. It's very difficult. I would do Bluebird and I'd do all these amazing events, but I'd want people to pat me on the back and say, yo, that's so sick, man. Amazing job, this and that. And now I find that when I do it anonymously, it's really beautiful. I think you guys have something in like the Quran as well, where it's like, give with the right hand like your left hand doesn't know.
It's from Imam Ali alayhi salam, who he gives that quote. Absolutely.
So it's the same thing.
It is.
Yeah, it's very anonymous, very selfless.
It is.
It's amazing. Is that sort of how you got into cooking? Because to give selflessly it's very synonymous with cooking for someone and, making them feel that certain type of way, which is what food can do.
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting that you recognize that, because for me, cooking for someone is nurturing them. It's nourishing their soul, and it's another way to look after them. I've always felt like I've had a knack for cooking. You remember how excited we got to eat growing up? Like we got overly excited.
We would have camping trips and stuff like that, and you would like throw down some of the baddest burgers. Like you're like, no, we got to do this. So like from a very like pre-culinary, you got excited with mixing flavors and like, yo, this is gonna go sing with that. And from a young, I've always believed you were very creative on the ball court, off the ball court, on the soccer pitch, off the soccer pitch. Like you are athletically gifted, and you were always able to create art. Like we'd be playing ball and you do a move like how did you see that pass? How did you do that stuff? But it goes back to you being an artist.
He's being really, really kind right now. I don't know if because the camera's around, but
the cameras are on, so I got to put on this. No, but Deb, I love you, man.
It's mad love.
It's mad. Speaking of mad love, hold on, Mick. He's got a cookbook, and that's what really brought this whole thing together. So this cookbook, I'm super excited. We've ordered a few copies, about 10. We're going to give them away.
Thank you.
My pleasure. I mean, I wish I could support more, and I will by continuing to post it out there. But this cookbook, give it to me. Like, what does this mean to you?
I have so much to say about the cookbook, and I'll tell you something. It's like, Dewji, you're both Dewji. Ali's known me for a very long time, right? But you haven't. And for me, over my career, like you've seen me do some amazing stuff, but I feel like I've been missing a legacy piece. Because a lot of people in my position, they come from a restaurant background where they have restaurants and stuff like that, or they have a television show or whatever it is. Even though I do hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos, I feel like there's a legacy piece that's been missing, which comes in the form of a cookbook now. So it means the world to me. The other thing too is that ever since I started cooking 15, 16 years ago, I've been asked to do a cookbook because I've always had a very unique take and spin on things. However, if I released the cookbook 3, 4, 5 years ago, it would have been missing the lens and POV that I have on food now. Because these days, now I have this lane where I'm trying to showcase and modernize and be creative with both West and East Indian food. Because as I'm Guyanese, a lot of the Indo-Guyanese food comes from South Asia, comes from India, right? So I'm really trying to educate myself with that because it's all food that I grew up with. I grew up with malai kofta, and I grew up with teplas and all kinds of stuff like this. So that's why I'm learning Hindi right now as well.
Wow.
Yeah. But with the cookbook, it's like, I'm glad it's coming out now. Because if I'd released it 5 years ago, bro, it would have just been world-inspired. And I do have world-inspired elements in the book today, but it has this lens.
So now it's sort of catered to what Chef Dev likes and what Chef Dev is giving to the world.
There's a theme to it.
Yeah.
There's a theme to it now, yeah. So the majority of the recipes are Guyanese. And there's a lot of Desi recipes in there as well. And there's a lot of world-inspired stuff.
In the cookbook, if you would give us one anecdote or one recipe that a young guy could whip up, healthy, tasty,
and would impress a significant other.
I'm getting jittery. There's some serious heat in this cookbook. Guyana's national dish, pepper pot, something that I've really popularized, and I'm so proud of it. It's funny, in Pakistan, they were calling it Guyanese nihari when I made it.
No,
Well, because for staff meal on the last day when my friends brought me out to open the restaurant at their brand new hotel in Lahore, on the last day I had cassoulet, the key ingredient to make Guyanese pepper pot. So I said for staff meal last day after 3 weeks, let's make pepper pot. That's in the book. There's also a vegan version. Because take Pakistan for example, right? National dishes,
Nihari?
Butter chicken.
nihari.
No, butter chicken.
Niyar. What if you're a vegetarian? Then what?
Palak paneer?
But what would you do? There's no national dish as far as I know.
You can't swap out the meat and then nihari.
I mean, you could, but people would look at you really funny. With Guyanese food, I put vegan pepper pot.
Wow.
Yeah, using like mushrooms and baby corn and jackfruit. It is banana. There's no bananas in it. It's like, that's how I talk. It's bananas, right? Sweet potato, etc., etc. There's also a really cool dish too. You know spanakopita?
Of course.
So spinach and cheese and phyllo pastry. What South Asian dish does it remind? What else has spinach and cheese? You just mentioned it.
Palak paneer?
Palak paneer. So there's palak paneer, spanakopita.
Wow.
Next level, bro. So you saute off all your spices, your ginger, garlic, your green chili, etc., and you build out kind of like a saag paneer, a palak paneer. But you cook it down, you dry it out, and then you stuff it into phyllo, bro. And it's palak paneer, spanakopita.
No, when you talk and you talk about food, make it come to life.
I love it.
No, like don't you see that?
Literally staging
Like that, actually, you can see it, you can envision it. Like and you know, like a musician, when he's telling a story or he's singing a song, they create the story, or a storyteller film. You've taken food, which if it's animal based, that animal's dead. You've brought that thing back to life. Dare I say it, given it a better life than the chicken poof and grew up on. Because like I'm like seeing the spinach, like it's just electrifying.
Where can we get this cookbook for our viewers, for everyone that wants these gems? Where do we get it?
Great question. It was just announced by Indigo to be one of their most anticipated titles for 2024. So they were offering 30% off. It'll be available everywhere. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Indigo. It'll be available on my website, chefdev.ca. We'll have a specific link for it. You can hit me up directly if you need to know where to find it, but it should be everywhere.
We got to make sure to tag this 100%. So question, all this amazing food around you all the time, how do you stay in shape?
Good question, man. And I heard you like to train as well.
I do. So I'm looking for some, some tips.
I got hooked up with a trainer. His name is Braden, Coach Braden Kardash. And we started counting calories. Yeah, bro, it's so hard in my line of work, man. I'm doing shoots all the time. I'm doing demos. I'm doing pop-ups. All these little nibbles and bites that you eat throughout the day,
They add up.
that's an extra 4, 5, 6, 700 calories. And I take big bites of stuff, right? Like if I'm making a cauliflower truffle puree, like I really want to taste it. If I'm making like, a really fun, braised short grilled cheese, and I'm trimming the ends, I'm eating all the ends. And I'm always on shoots. I'm always on fun things, like food is my life. So all these things added up. So I started counting calories.
Like MyFitnessPal or?
No, it's called FitLog.
Okay.
Similar thing though. But the cool thing about Braden is that with MyFitnessPal, you have to put specifically what you're eating as far as I know.
What?
Braden would just be like 100 grams rice, 180 gram chicken breast, 50 gram veg, and then 2 tablespoons of GQ sugar-free barbecue sauce, straight fuego. It's so good. 0 sugar. Let's go.
Fuego.
Yeah, it's so good.
That's amazing, bro. So what size you wear now?
What do you mean, like shirts?
Shirts specifically.
I like a slim large,
Slim, large.
but like medium.
You're looking pretty sure.
I dropped 50 pounds.
No, you look good, bro. The last time I saw you, so when you did every month of Ramadan, you and our good friend, our boy Chima,
Yeah.
you guys do a Ramadan iftar. You fast.
Yeah, the whole
You fast the
Yeah.
whole day, and then you cook, and then we donate all the proceeds to a charity. But you're looking very slim compared to those.
It's funny that you mentioned that because Chima, we worked out just recently this past weekend.
With him?
Shout out to Kubi De Kebab.
Kubi Day.
Ali Murali Reza, like 18 names, right?
Like
When I introduce him, I use a different name. People are like, who is this guy? But
we all love.
we all love her.
Even I love Chima, bro.
Of course. Best friend, man. But he showed me a photo from that iftar recently.
Yeah.
And he's like, he actually showed it to me. And he's like, you look a lot different from this.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that you say that.
Yeah.
The reason why I was asking is
Yes,
because
you were asking about his size.
we got you some
Oh, no way.
Dewji Realty.
The DR. Yeah, that's my initials. DR.
Rajkumar. Oh my
Wow.
good DR. So, when we came up with the logo, the drip, right? It was the Dewji Realty Information Podcast.
Thank you so much.
So we made sure that you got the DR. If you could open that up there, there's a prize on it for you that I want you to take a look at.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm really happy that you did this, man. This says Monks, right? MUNX, short for monkey. Like I said before, this like timestamps a moment in my life, but a lot of people don't know it. But it grounds me because I was not Chef Dev at the time that I was Monks, and I don't have all the hype and clout and whatever.
You did though. Within our circles, like we all like the party didn't get started till Dev got out, bro. No, it's the truth, man. Anybody will attest to it. Turn it around, Dev. Turn it around. Let's see. Let's see what you got in the back.
This is my saying. Really cool story behind Mad Love though.
Yeah.
Is like we talk like it's I'm mad tired. I like mad cheese. Whatever it is, right? I'm mad hungry. This is how I organically started signing off videos during the pandemic. The Chef Dev at Home videos, which I know that we talked about too. I would just naturally say at the end of the video, Mad Love. And then that saying started being synonymous with me where people were saying it back. And then I just became Mr. Mad Love. And that's the name of the cookbook, the Mad Love cookbook. I have Mad Love merch as well that hoodies and toques and stuff like that. So, I mean, you put it on the back of this hoodie and pink's my favorite color. Pink, lavender, purples, like these are, I like the pastels.
You like the pastels. You like the black.
I just like all the softer colors that I avoided my whole life because I like to wear black. But you wouldn't know looking at me today. I'm all black, so.
I love black.
Yeah.
And, sometimes you actually have your nails. I haven't seen you paint your nails in a while.
I was a few weeks ago, man. I did it for Christmas, yeah.
Oh, you did? Did you do red, green?
No, I did like a navy blue matte. Man, I love painting my nails, bro. Do you know why?
I know why.
Why?
I've watched every video of yours. So, you know what? Tell the audience why. I follow you, so I know why. But
okay, so there's a clean response, and my friends probably like, don't say some stupid shit, Devin. But it promotes gender equality. True. It promotes creative expression, being yourself, thinking outside the box. I've always been one to like rebel a bit and go against societal norms, but it pisses people in our community off, and I love it. I love it. Those old brown people that are like, and aunties, bro, chachis, but where they're like immediately like, and they've asked me like, what's wrong with you, or they ask my mom, what's wrong with Devin? Like, why is he painting his nails? And I understand people grow up in a different time, but I like to be very open-minded. And I just want to set an example where if I paint my nails, it's not hurting anybody. It's not harming anybody. And you remember seeing the comments where people are like, oh my God, you're a chef. You paint your nails. You can never cook for me. And it's like, okay, then I want to cook for you. Yeah. But then it's like, think of like countless women around the world who cook for their kids every day. They have their nails painted, right? So it's like, you're just coming at me for no reason. Not to mention, I'm cooking videos at home. Like, I don't have a restaurant. I'm not cooking for people every single day, So why don't you just say like you don't approve of what I'm doing?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, you don't have to be like you don't get to cook for me. Just be like, this makes me uncomfortable. Just keep it 100.
A lot of youth, I feel, it's easy to say like I don't really care what others think, but for you to go against the grain on a broader scale, to pursue your passion in the food industry, how do you go about doing that? And for our viewers who have a passion and want to pursue it, and maybe monetize that passion, how do you start off? What's your mindset? Talk to me about it.
How do you pursue what you're really passionate about?
Correct.
Bro, for so long I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue. I was just firing in all cylinders. You know that saying, like you miss all the shots you don't take?
Yeah.
Bro, I was throwing up mad air balls, bro. But I kept shooting, because people don't see the output. Sorry, they don't see the input. They see the output. They see the swishes and stuff like that. They don't see all those air balls and stuff, but I kept shooting.
And this is from a young age.
I've always been pretty active, I've, like you said, very artistic, very creative. I just needed to find something to hold on to and run with. And I did that with culinary and hospitality, like that whole part of it's, that's a proponent in as well. But this, like, it's really hard for me to give advice. And I get asked this. I was on a panel yesterday and I was doing a speech yesterday and I was talking a bit about this, but you can't give up. Like, and that goes for this podcast as well. I don't think you've done many episodes and stuff like that. But at the same time, I mean, like, you just can't give up on the podcast. Like, you have to keep going. The trajectory is not always going to be like this when you start something, but you just have to keep hammering, man. Success doesn't come overnight. Like we might see on social media, a lot of instant gratification. But to anybody out there trying to pursue their passion, put pen to paper, write a plan, and don't give up, man. You got to keep pushing. You got to keep fighting.
And don't give up, right? So what I really, think about with like the painting of the nail stuff is that
I can't believe we're talking.
No, because you know what?
Cool.
I'm so much more than just painting your nails. It's for me, it's you're pushing. He's clean or unpainted. You're pushing to see who really stays with you, who likes me. Because Devan Rajkumar is not the tattoos, he's not the this, he's in here.
True.
Right? Like, yes, you're a different version of yourself today. You're a more refined, a more open, a more thing. But those who have loved you unconditionally, such as mom, what mom has done. Yo, mom doesn't care if you paint your nails or dye your, she might give you a color every now and then. But, those that are your true friends, whatever, they're going to accept that. And, when it comes to fear, I remember a quote that says, fear kills way more dreams than failure does.
And your dreams are on the other side of fear.
Absolutely. Well said, brother.
I spoke about that yesterday. Very well said, both of you. I spoke about that yesterday. And I'll give you a quick example. It's like when people, and it kind of goes back to a little bit of what you were saying about passion and monetizing, but content creation. Many people don't even start because they're too afraid of how they're going to be judged and the reaction people are going to have. So they keep holding on to this idea. I'll do the reel tomorrow. I'll do the post tomorrow. I'll do the podcast tomorrow. And day after day after day goes by. When in reality, you need to post something, get it up, and keep doing that day after day for weeks, months. And sometimes people gain traction in weeks, but sometimes it takes years. But they're too afraid to even put it up there and engage and see how it performs. So they never end up even doing it. I have this conversation all the time. Someone was talking to me last night, Dev, how do I grow I'll grow a following like you? Because I noticed like 6 months ago, it has grown a lot since then. And, I go scrolling to their page and they're posting once a week and they're putting up photos and they're not engaging with comments that come in. Like, there's a million things you have to do. But you got to try, and you got to fake it till you make it. And then critical, man.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, bro. I made myself seem bigger than I was in the earlier years. Part of it was ego. But at the same time, it's like, I was trying to sell a bigger dream.
Fake it till you make it to who though, Dev? To yourself or to the audience? Because sometimes...
That's everything, everyone.
But I think the most important person you need to fake it to till you make it is yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Like maybe I was doing it subconsciously.
Because we talk about self-sabotaging, right?
Yeah.
That's something I've been guilty of. Mikhail, you and I have discussed this many times.
Sometimes we're scrolling all day. Sometimes we just get bogged down into things we shouldn't be doing.
And it's sort of like, I ought to be better. I know I can be better and I know what I should do. But sometimes people are afraid of success. Like, do I really deserve this? When we were younger and we would say money is the root of all evil and all that. It's not true. It's just not true. It's what we were told. And it's important to change that narrative. So fake it till you make it. Or in some circles I've heard, faith it till you make it.
I like that as well. I think I'd be doing that a lot more these days on this spirituality journey that I've been on. I like that, faith it till you make it.
You were talking about some of your spirituality, and some of the things that you do. You have a wicked morning routine you were telling me earlier about spirituality, how you get yourself into a certain state of mind. I'd love to hear about how you do that, the steps that are involved to get you ready for the day.
Even more important, I think, thank you for sending me down this road, but I'll provide some context as to where spirituality entered my life and why I sought after it. But I've dabbled with drugs and alcohol my entire life since I was very, very young. For whatever reasons, insecurities, fears, resentments, lack of emotional intelligence, all these different things, abandonment, whatever it was that young Devan created in his mind. But long story short, that continued for a very, very long time. And I needed a way to live peacefully without altering my state of consciousness. I was introduced to 12 steps, and I was introduced to a spiritual program. I was very much the center of my universe for a long time. I was my own God, and I needed to believe in a higher power greater than myself. I put a lot of my faith into the ever-expanding universe. That's something that has always resonated with me. And the more I compare myself to the universe, or the more I put myself in that type of context, the smaller I become. And that's what I need, is major, major ego deflation. Like my ego needs to be smashed. That self-love and the self-awareness all comes only after, and the honesty and all that only comes after I smash that ego. And that's why I've given so much of my life to spirituality.
Being humble is the main cause, and the main
humility is everything.
What is humility though? Is it making yourself small? Is it
question?
How do you answer that?
what is it to you? And because being humble,
Are you ready for this?
you know, it's in the Quran, being humble. It's in many different religious transcripts. But what is it to you?
It's a great question. And I have a quote that I live by that blew my mind open when I first said it. And this would make a great excerpt for an IG reel. But you asked me, what is humility? So true humility is not thinking less of yourself. It's thinking of yourself less.
Thinking of yourself less.
True humility. Not thinking less of yourself, thinking of yourself less. That's humility.
That's a different perspective, bro. Yeah, you got goosebumps.
Heavy.
Wow.
We have something as well about, you know, to know God, you must know yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
عرف نفسك فقد
عرف الله
ربك. Whoever knows his self will know his Lord, is what it says. And, you know, that's, but like, we've discussed this, and, you know, there's different faiths and there's different religions, and ultimately, you know, everything goes to that divinity of beautiful and synchronicity. And it's, if you know yourself, you know the complexities that are within you, you know the strength, the resiliency, the abilities that are within you, and you realize you're a created being, only then can you realize the greatness that is the creator that puts you on this earth.
In addiction, I didn't know all that. I didn't have any conception of that. There was nothing greater than myself. So it's very, it's humbling, and it's interesting. It's thought-provoking to hear you both share that, because I didn't know myself. I thought I did. I thought I knew what was best for me and what I needed, but I was harming myself.
Oftentimes we feel people that struggle with addiction, it stems from, you know, peer pressure, people that are around you. And to get out of that is so tough, so challenging. Peer pressure is a real thing. How do you sort of clear out your circle, you know, get to the point where you need to be, get in that headspace every morning? How do you do that? Because it takes a lot of willpower to get over those hurdles.
Peer pressure is one part of it. And peer pressure could be involved in, you know, making someone pick something up that they wouldn't before. But I'm telling you, bro, if it becomes full-blown addiction, there's not always someone there saying, drink this or do this or do that. There's some deep-rooted issues and causes if someone decides to use when the peer pressure isn't around. And in my opinion, in my story, I can only speak about my story. That's what the addiction is. It turned to isolation. It turned to this. It turned to that. There wasn't always someone around. And unfortunately, I've been guilty myself, and I hold deep regret for that, for peer pressuring other people to do it. And that's another reason why, you know, I work with young men to recover. Not young men, I work with men to recover in the way that I do it through the program.
That's what you can relate to.
It reminds me of where I was in the beginning, and it's how we keep our program going full circle. Step 12 is carrying the message to other addicts and alcoholics and giving back so freely what was given to me, you know, and it's a beautiful thing. But the peer pressure and all that, I mean, it's definitely there. Got to know yourself, man. Like you guys were saying, you got to know yourself to know God.
Like, how do you do that? Like, cut off somebody?
I'll tell you. You'd think that we drafted some of these responses, you know, but I had no idea what we were going to talk about today. Bro, you need to audit your circle and love from a distance. So my crew that I used heavily with over many, many years, like my fam, my ride or dies, my diehard, they're still in my life. They're just not in my life to the same capacity they were before. I love them from a distance. So instead of spending all week with them, or instead of partying with them all weekend, I'll pop by the birthday party, we'll go for pizza, we'll go to the gym, we'll do this or we'll do that. And then I kind of put them off to a little bit of a distance. So I still make the effort for them, show them that I'm there and I love them and I care. I just can't see them as much as I used to before. But auditing your circle is critical. It's important to maintain relationship. I'll keep going back to myself. It's important for me to maintain relationships where it's reciprocal. So auditing your circle, loving from a distance, really important. I got another quote for you. Really, and like I live by quotes, right? Like I can tell. Oh my God! Like if nothing,
you should write a book. Maybe a book.
These aren't necessarily my quotes. Another one off topic though. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Chima and I love that one. We talk about if nothing changes, nothing changes. Right? Change is required in order to have a different outcome.
But you have one. Let me show you. There was something like this.
Let me show you.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Continue on.
But the auditing your circle one and all that stuff is like you are the company you keep. So be prudent in the friends that you seek. So another one that I love.
Rhymes.
Another one on that. Yeah, that one rhymes. This one doesn't. But never take advice from someone that you will not trade places with. I cannot stress that enough. It's one of my favorite quotes because as I started to grow and as I embark on this journey and this and that, everybody has advice for me. But it's like, how oftentimes you're not in a position to provide me any advice. You know, it's like an extremely overweight person telling you
how to cook,
how calories are trained. Or
they are.
No, I'm just saying, like someone who's never cooked
In general,
telling you that you should try this when you're cooking your meal the next time. Like, you'd be surprised how many people have advice for you, but you wouldn't trade places with them if you had the opportunity to.
You know, I know we've gone very deep, and I know that you want to lighten the mood, but there's one more thing I want to talk to you about. So one of the things you had discussed in one of your videos was writing letters. To pops to
pen to paper. Yeah. We talk. Oh no, you're talking about another podcast.
No, you talked about this on your video where you talked about the road to recovery.
Right.
And have you ever written a letter to Devin?
I did.
Future Devin or past?
Young Devin.
Young Devin.
Never to future.
Just because I think your path is, and everyone's path is, but given the type of lifestyle, the business that you're in, it's so fluid. Like you're here today, you're traveling tomorrow, you're here, you're in India, you're in, like we were talking about going to Iraq, we're talking about going to East Africa, and you're like, I'm down, let's do it, let's book it. And I think that, future Devin is like, yo, I need you to do this stuff. I guess it was just a thought, but go ahead, Mickey.
What's your morning routine?
It's oftentimes pretty much the same. I wake up and I try to get into the right headspace. Gratitude is not necessarily something that I do in the morning. Why? Because I'm doing it all the time. It's not like a morning routine. It's like I've talked about gratitude ever since I've been sitting in this chair, right? I'm really, really grateful for all the things that are happening. That's really, really good because it starts my day off with humility and ego deflation. I typically will always wake up and train. I go right to the gym.
That's awesome.
It's a big part of my journey.
Every day?
I force myself to take a day off. But there are many 7, 8, 9, 10-day stretches.
You got to recover.
9-10 day stretches.
But no, I'm just obsessed with working out. Like I found these Spartan workouts. I was doing F45 for a long time. But it's kind of like, coming from like an addict mindset, I used to go really hard in that direction. And now I'm addicted to health and wellness and feeling good. And I'm on day 4, no cats. Wow. Thank God, man. I've been back and forth with these darts and it's like so embarrassing that...
This guy's finally off it.
Oh, how long?
It's a work in progress.
But you're off it. Now you're off the vape.
I'm off the vape.
Now you're off the vape officially on the Drip podcast. So now the whole world is holding you to it.
Wow. This guy put me on blast.
You stopped.
Correct. Go.
I'm doing Nicorette too a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're still not putting a cigarette to your mouth. Alhamdulillah. That's amazing.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, that's incredible. So I stopped with the darts and stuff too. But morning routine, I never used to work out with food in my stomach, but I was doing fasted. Now I understand that I need some fuel in my system, especially before legs or push pulls. But yeah, wake up, gratitude, eat something, go to the gym. Then you're starting your day off with all these wins and you have a huge success.
Small wins.
Yeah.
Your bed or not?
What's up?
You fold your bed?
Yeah, bro. No animal.
Okay,
a
quick question for you. When you go to a restaurant, who orders? Is it you always with the big group?
Pre-culinary, I've always been that.
Everyone knows it's you.
I've always been that.
And are you giving the waitress a tough time? Are you telling her how to do her job?
And I'm a very pleasant guy.
Going into the kitchen and doing it yourself?
No, you say like sabse acha kaun sa hai, right? So it's like, what's the best item on the menu? I ask servers 2 things always.
Okay.
What's your go-to? And what do people keep returning here for? That's the key question. What signature item do the majority of people that come here, what keeps them coming back? That's how I find out what to order because I'm constantly traveling.
Different from what's the best dishes. That's pretty different.
It's a real question. It's a real question. No, but it's different with, because now they're like, okay, the butter chicken. But they're like, what if people come back here? And then they sit there and pause and be like, you know what? It's actually the palak paneer.
Right. There's been many times where I speak to a server and that server has not eaten the food at the restaurant or they're celiac or they're vegan or they're gluten-free or they're vegetarian. That's why I transitioned the question over the years to what does everyone come here to eat? And they'll be like, oh, number 17, or.
That's crazy. Okay, last thing is most of our viewers are from the GTA area.
Okay.
Can you give us your top 3 restaurant recommendations in Vaughan?
In Vaughan?
Vaughan. Because it's challenging. It's challenging. Mississauga is kind of easy. You have your top ones. I'm making it difficult for you.
I'm so embarrassed. Chow Roma is a great place. That's like Vaughan Woodbridge. They do Roman style pizza, so they cut it with the scissors and it's rectangular shaped. Chow Roma is one of them. Man, Vaughan, you are killing me.
Okay, fine. You can expand it to Woodbridge, maybe Saga.
Richmond Hill. Give him Richmond Hill. Richmond Hill, he's got.
Richmond Hill isn't Richmond Hill mainly like? Are you gonna give us Chinese restaurants?
I was just about to say Ding Tai Fung. Okay. Critical. Ding Tai Fung?
Never.
Yeah, Ding Tai Fung. There's two locations. One's kind of border Richmond Hill. The other one is Scarborough. It's a bit Markhamish, but Ding Tai Fung is one of my favorite places in the world. Not world. It's one of my favorite places in the area to eat. There's actually a fantastic place called Kim's Tofu. It's at Bayview and Blackmore in Richmond Hill. And they specialize in jjigae, kimchi jjigae. So it's the stone pot with the bubbling cabbage and sundobu, so soft tofu. That's a really, really fun place. I feel like if I had more time, there's more stuff in Vaughan, Woodbridge that I could give you. But I mean, that's not cool. I should have got all of Toronto.
I think we should go get some grub right now.
I'm starving.
Where do you want to go?
We were talking about Pakistani food. I haven't been to CDK, Cafe de Khan in Sohag. It's been so long. Have we been before?
You and I have not.
I know JB and I have been before.
For sure.
Him and I went, it was a very romantic dinner once.
It's just two of you?
Huh.
That's very.
Yeah.
No, you and I have not had. I've not had the pleasure of going there, but I have gone to many restaurants with you, and even before Chef Dev days, you were the order guy. Like, Dev, what are we eating? I got you. So one of my favorite places to eat halal Thai food is Chiang Mai.
Chiang Mai's fantastic. I didn't know that it was halal.
Yeah.
Even Sukhothai.
No, Chiang Mai.
Sukhothai's fire, bro.
Chiang Mai. So Huss got me onto it. Shout out Snap Travel Pop.
Sure.
Huss got me. Sure. And Chiang Mai is phenomenal. And when I go there, you know something good when you order stuff that's not on the menu. So
like Thai Islamic noodles.
Yeah.
It's salad.
It's funny you mentioned those words because the best dish on there is the Thai basil stir fry, which they don't have on the menu.
Right.
And it is fire. You get it extra hot.
Pragra Pao is the name of that dish.
What's it?
I think it's Pragra Pao. Holy beans, all fried rice.
Yeah. That's the one. That's the one.
Praga Pao.
I'm just like Bravo.
Oh man,
Dev, it's been an absolute pleasure, an absolute honor. Any final words?
Very grateful to be here. Thank you for thinking of me. We talked about a lot of interesting stuff on this podcast, but if there's anything that you want to action in your life or execute on, just don't give up and don't stop and seek help. Like there's many times in my life where I put a hand up and it's like, I need help. And I think that's also going back to humility is I ask a lot of questions. I was on a shoot with someone earlier today and I was asking him all these questions. This guy's like half my age, but I'm asking him all these questions about what we were doing. The specifics of it's not important, but ask a lot of questions, say when you need help, and things don't come overnight. So continue to work at it, work hard.
100%, bro. I think this is the first time I met you. You've had the pleasure to know my brother for quite some time, but just meeting you for the first time, I can feel your vibes. You're a real guy. I think that's why we get along as well. And it was a pleasure to have you.
I can't wait to go eat, and thank you for all the kind things that you said. And I'll come back, right?
Let's do it. Absolutely.
Inshallah.
We're going to bring you back episode 25, which is the episode, should have been the first one.
That's the rule.
We're bringing you back episode 25. Deal, man?
Absolutely.
Let's get a lot of episodes smashed out so we can make this sooner than later.
Let's go get some food.
Mad love.
Mad love.